Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of the Huddle, a Black and Gold podcast. And here we are with our host, Gage Ryan. How you doing, Gage?
Sensational. How are you, my friend?
Oh man, oh man. Look who's sitting in with us today, folks. That's right, the man, the myth, the legend. It's a five-star matchup because he's in it. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Thanks for the spectacular intro. It is really weird to be on this side of things with you guys setting me up. But I guess I'm like a proud dad today, because you guys have come, and been on my show for many years, and now I'm coming and joining your show. So
There you go.
it's a really beautiful thing, and it's really been tremendous to see the growth that continues to go on over in your neck of the woods, man. So I'm sorry, catch me up. Are you not? Am I not calling you Steel Flyers anymore? You have a different
Okay,
identity
so
now.
yes,
You got
yes,
to
yes,
catch me up.
yes.
I don't
Yes.
know. I
All
don't
right.
know.
So we had to look. A lot of folks still call me Steel. A lot of folks
Hmm.
still know me as Steel. So if you want to call me that, I'm cool with that. But we
Sure.
changed everything up to RNJ Media Sports. By the way, hop on over to rnjmediasports.com. That's rnjmediasports.com. Hop on over there and check that out. Also, hit the like and subscribe here on this show for sure. The Huddle Black and Gold podcast. Um, I had to do some change up, man. I had to
Yeah.
make some changes. I had to do some things. We got a new website coming out. We got a bunch of new channels going on. We got this show right here, man. We started the huddle with me and Gage. I mean, look, this is all part of this five-star matchup community here. And we got Frame to do a lot of our graphics for us, the skin for the show and everything. He designed all that. And Gage did our logo for us, right? And he does a lot of our thumbnails for the show, and it's just awesome to see how all these folks have come together and look what we get to produce now.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, you know, I can just remember, going way back now to the first year that I was doing five-star matchup and then into the second year, just like, texting randomly with Gage, because he had like reached out to me on the comments section and stuff. And then, going into COVID and not knowing what the heck was going on in the
I
world.
know, right?
Uh, and just the way we came together and just kind of started making content together about the Steelers. And it's so cool now to be like, I don't know, most of a decade later, like, more than half of a decade later, and we're all still doing this together. So it's incredible. And you made a lot of changes, not to do a segue on your show. I realize I'm not the host here, but it's quite like the Pittsburgh Steelers that made a lot of changes in the offseason, huh? A lot of new faces.
Yeah, right. Definitely. New faces, new shows, new channels, new website coming out here real soon. But some of the
New
same
quarterback.
great, yeah, new quarterbacks, right? New defensive backs, new defensive safeties, new
Mhm.
defensive linemen. We got all kinds of new stuff going on here.
Not
So,
not a
And
new
not
not a new head coach yet though.
see,
not a
you
new approach yet. And like on top of that, we got half the defense that's still injured. So we have new guys for the new
Mm,
guys.
yes.
you had to
Go
ruin it,
go
man. You
ahead.
had to ruin it. You just
Go
had to
ahead.
go
You
and
were
ruin.
on to something. Yeah, you had something. Go ahead.
You had to no, no, no. You just had to go and ruin it, man.
Yeah.
Still the same head coach. Like, come on.
Same old Steelers. That was the
Oh,
Mhm.
mantra during the late '60s, if memory serves me correctly. Was
oh
the
man.
SOS the same old
Hey,
Steelers?
hey diddle, hey diddy diddle, or hey diddy, whatever Hey
Diddle
diddle
diddle.
diddle, hey diddle diddle,
Yeah.
bow up the middle, right? And they did
Rogel.
that play every single bloody time, and the all defense just stood there and stopped them, and then they anyway. That's my take on my because that's showing my age there. So anyway, so okay, but the Steelers are 2-1 heading
Mhm.
in.
Somehow.
Yeah, heading into week 4 on the Emerald Island against the Vikings, who are also 2-1. And they have a laundry list. I mean, back up the medical truck here for both of these teams. Quite a long list of guys that are on the injured report, especially with the Vikings. They got Carson Wentz starting, okay, with Brosmer as their backup, right?
Which might
And
be more dangerous for us. It might be more dangerous for going against a backup quarterback and a washed Carson Wentz than it would be JJ McCarthy.
okay, so we all saw what they've done when they were able to win games. What last show, Gage and I were not as optimistic about their chances against New England, and now I get to pose this to the master. Uh, what do you think? What do you think the outlook here is for the Steelers coming into Ireland, facing up against the Vikings, who have already been over there since I think Monday, right? And the Steelers are flying Thursday.
Well, I thought I said that I thought I saw that their travel schedules were the same, but
Oh,
regardless, uh, yeah, I mean that's to me, whatever. But I think, I mean, I feel pretty positive this week, to be honest with you. But there's a couple things that kind of stick in my craw a little bit. So as always, like I am somebody, as you guys both know, who always just looks at the quarterback matchup. And I think that as much as I don't really like the Aaron Rodgers experience, I do think that it feels to me for the first time in a long time that we have an advantage at that position in most games, whether it's like, it's not that he's Aaron Rodgers of 10 years ago, but I still, you guys know I place a lot of weight on like sort of like the intangible elements and experience and stuff, and that's why I still thought Roethlisberger was good even at the end. Even though he was obviously physically depleted, like
yeah,
you still have an advantage in those little elements of games of like getting people in the right places and situational stuff, and that was the stuff that so often with Pickett, Trubisky, et cetera, that we didn't feel that way. Russell Wilson, even shockingly, as a veteran, we did not feel that way often last year.
right.
But Rodgers, I mean, he's taking advantage of all these like little moments in games. We already seen him get one of his famous like drawing people off sides and all that kind of stuff. So I do feel like we have a really strong advantage there at that position because Carson Wentz is ultimately still Carson Wentz. Um, but what I will say is what makes me uncomfortable about the matchup uh, is the same thing I alluded to earlier, which is the head coach matchup. And Kevin O'Connell is a tremendous coach for the Vikings. I don't know how many guys in the league you would take over him, to be honest, at this point.
Very
And
few.
Tomlin, yeah, and Tomlin has really struggled with a lot of these young coaches. Gage and I talked about it last week on one of our things.
Yep,
Shane Steichen is a guy
yep,
that's, giving him fits. That guy, even in Arizona gave him some trouble, if I remember correctly. Like, a
yep.
lot of these like young coaches just for no explainable reason, give Tomlin trouble because he's not adapting his systems and his structure to what the NFL is now. So I am worried about that, and I am worried about Brian Flores wanting to extract maybe a little bit of revenge and saying that you kind of went with the wrong guy, which we so clearly did,
Clearly,
and keeping Carl Lawson over him.
yep.
Um, but then I kind of waver over back to like I kind of think the defense took some steps forward for the Steelers this week. And I kind of think they're going to kind of get it right this week. And I think they'll throw everything they can at Justin Jefferson, not let him beat them. I think they'll do a good job. I think they'll come out with a win. That's what I think.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Gage, same question, buddy.
I don't know. I predicted us to lose last week, right? I didn't think that
Right,
we
we
had
both
very good
did.
chance.
We both did. Yeah,
And like the fact remains, I think that shows you that it's officially a new era in New England. I've never seen that many sloppy mistakes in a New England game before. It was pretty crazy.
right.
Shout out to Mike Vrabel, but he's got a lot of work to do.
Woo!
Uh,
Yeah.
so that's one thing. So going into this week, like, I want to be optimistic and I want to just be like, yeah, we're going to go in there and crush them. And, Carson Wentz, the backup quarterback. Yeah, we should win. And I'll predict us to win. But that it's just one of those things when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where how often do we when we should? I think that they have a really solid defense. I think
Yeah.
they got a really solid defensive coordinator, one that we should have held on to, like Steve mentioned. I mean, I can believe that it happened because it's a Mike Tomlin team and that's what happens, but I still, part of me just can't believe that we got rid of him. We got rid of Brian Flores and kept Terrell Austin. It's just crazy to me. So that's one thing. Kevin O'Connell, like Steve mentioned, I mean, it's the fact that they are a much better run team than we are. And I think Kevin O'Connell, that's not like a diss at Mike Tomlin, it's just because I think Kevin's a very good coach in his own right. So I don't know where that puts us here. I feel like we should win. And like I said, I'll predict us too, but um, it's definitely going to be no small task, even with a backup quarterback. That's for sure.
Are
They
we
got,
officially the home team? This doesn't matter at all, but are we the
I think
official
so.
home team?
I think
Yeah.
Well,
so.
I don't know if it's official, but we should be. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Unofficially, we're probably going to be anyway. There's probably going to be a heck of a lot more terrible towels there than anything else. You know what I mean? But here's my thing, though. The list of injuries. Javon Hargrave did not practice. Right. Their starting guard Donovan Jackson didn't practice. Right. Outside linebacker Andrew Von Grinkle didn't practice. Right. A couple of their other guys didn't practice. Okay. Now they're gonna have Ryan Kelly and Jake Redmond and Justin Skull are gonna come back, but I like the matchup in the trenches for this one. Finally, with their depleted line and some of our guys potentially coming back, we might have some good news with um, Joey Porter Jr. potentially being back and Deshaun Elliott potentially being back. Um,
do you think this might
playing.
be a put it together moment for both of our lines?
See, and I think that's what Steve said earlier in his little wrap up as well, is that he thinks that this is going to be one of those put it together games. So
Show us
yeah,
something.
yeah, I think they're going to show us something this in this game because they're going to finally have somewhat of a more complete roster, than what they've had over the last 2-3 weeks. You know what I mean? So, oh,
Right.
okay.
And
Plus,
it's
you're
week
also
four is
going to
like when
have
you typically
Harmon.
see that.
Plus, I think you're
Yeah.
going to see Harmon uh, play a much bigger role in this game coming because I think they were limiting him a little bit in the game against New England, just because he was listed as questionable on the injury report for that week. So he did play, but I think they were limiting him just to make sure he didn't, re-aggravate things. And man, he balled out when he was on the field. And when you look at the tape, he stuck out. He was one of those things that stuck out. And I know, Steve, you know what I'm talking about, right? Because you watch way more tape than I do.
I mean, I'm contractually obligated to watch through the game 3 times every Sunday. So no, I agree. I mean, it was clear as day that he stood out in a way that you don't often see rookie defensive linemen in their first games stand out. And I think it's really clear that he was a strong, infusion of talent there. And I mean, that is props to him. But I will say, I think it's also kind of like I don't think they have good depth on the defensive line either. So I don't think that the other guys that were playing in place of him were good. Isaiah Loudermilk.
Well, he's
Um,
on the
yeah,
IR now, so we don't have to worry about
yeah,
him.
he should be on the
Whisper
IR
milk.
for the next. He should be on the IR for the next 10 years. He's terrible. But no, I think the defensive line, I mean, it looked so much better with him, and that's what you see. I mean, like I've felt for a long time now, like they just have not. I was thinking about one player this week that I really love and miss, which is Stephon Tuitt, and I never felt like they
Oh,
replaced him. People kind of forget. I was looking at some stats. People forget he had 11 sacks in that COVID year in 2020. He had 11 sacks as a D lineman on the Steelers. Like, that's a tremendous year, and that guy was a really good player for a lot of for like the early part of Cam's career, like most of us all had an argument. Oh, Cam's better too. It's better. Like it was neck and neck, really. And now that he kind of had a shortened career, Cam's legacy has taken over, obviously. But I never felt like they really replaced him. They got Ogunjobi and these other guys, and they just
Yeah,
never
that
really
just
got
never.
Cam another partner on that line.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay. Well, okay, that I think that was the big giant elephant in the room. As far as that's concerned, we kind of look. All you have to do is hop on over to the 5-star matchup at Patreon/5SMU and get signed up and subbed, and you can watch all the great 5-star matchup shows, and you'll understand a heck of a lot more what we're talking about.
Or you'll just get a bunch of goofy football puns. But either way, you'll have a good time. 5-star matchup, YouTube.
That's
Check it
right.
out.
That's right. That's right. And Gage, your MMA is where?
You can find my MMA content at Contender MMA.
There you go. Cool. See, we bring talent here, man. Come on.
We're a factory.
That's what I just keep pumping them out. Okay. Gage, give me a score prediction. Can you? Would you? Are you feeling it?
So, Javon Hargrave, you said didn't practice, or is he officially out?
He did not practice
Okay.
with a chest injury. So
Okay.
that's a tough loss for them.
So they lose Hargrave, most likely. They lose their quarterback.
And potentially a guard, starting guard, Devon Jackson.
Oh, one of their guards. Okay.
Yep.
I feel like this is enough to maybe have our D lineman get into the backfield, make Carson Wentz a little more uncomfortable. Carson Wentz is not nearly the same athlete since he he tore his ACL or something like that when he was with the
Yeah.
Eagles.
Yeah.
When he was on
yeah.
that 12-0 run, and
Yep.
really, like, everybody just kind of gives Nick Foles credit for that Super Bowl. God bless him. I think that between those couple of factors, I think it's enough for us to maybe get a semblance of a running game going. We might get, call me crazy, we might get like 70 yards on the ground this weekend. I know 70 yards is quite rich. That might put us at 31st in the league at rushing instead of 32nd. But I think it'll be enough that we'll be able to maybe close the game out come later on in the fourth. And
Okay.
between that and between Aaron Rodgers, I feel like Aaron Rodgers isn't going to lose to Carson Wentz. That doesn't seem super duper likely to me. But then again, this is the Steelers. So I'll say we'll go 24-14.
All right. All right. Mr. 5-star matchup, sir. Can you give us a little shade on some of this prediction stuff here? You feel like it? Can you throw some of it?
Yeah. I feel pretty good about the matchup. I can't believe Gage just predicted a win. That's unusual. I mean, I feel really good about it. I think that the offense is going to show up. And I just want to say real quick, because this is the only podcast I'm really doing this week. Shout out to a couple guys, because you mentioned the run game. Shout out to two former Steeler legends, Najee Harris and James Conner, who both had brutal group injuries
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
And I feel for those guys. Najee, that was a guy that like we talked about for years, by the way. And oh, is he good? Is he not good? Always showed up, always ran hard. Like I don't know how good of a player he is, but that dude took so much abuse here for 4 straight years. And he just popped the Achilles. You saw it just like Tyrese Halliburton in the NBA,
Yeah.
just that false step backwards, and he just
Yeah.
and I just horrible. And I don't know if I wish him the best. Obviously, he's not watching this, but I'm just putting it out there on the record. James
Right.
Conner, same deal. James Conner's made a tremendous career for himself.
Yes, he has.
Since leaving the Steelers. So I just I want to say good luck to those guys. I think the Steelers running game is going to get going a little bit more this week. The Vikings bring a lot of blitzes. That's a big thing that they do. And I think Jaylen Warren is like uniquely suited to kind of counter that a little bit. So whether it's rushing or receiving, I'm going to predict Jaylen Warren has over 100 yards from scrimmage this week. And I
Whoa!
think, yeah, I know. That's crazy. Imagine if I predicted that when we had like Le'Veon, and you'd be like, big deal. But
Like, really? Just 100? Just
he's gonna
100?
break three. He's gonna break 3.1 per carry this week.
Yeah,
Um,
right?
I think the Steelers are gonna put up 27 points. I think they're gonna give up 20. I think they'll win 27-20.
I'm so with you on that one. 5 star. I really think that's going to be close. I think we're going to see a little bit more of. I'm hoping we see more because we keep hearing about it. But I want to see exactly what you said. I want to see more of that running game. I want to see more of them featuring the electric meatball as a running back. Okay, and leaving him in there in most situations, especially in passing situations, because he is very good at picking up the blitz. So
Mhm.
I also think we're going to be 27-28 points. I think we're going to be able to put up. I think we're going to see a little bit more out of Aaron Rodgers. I think we're going to see a little bit more out of the run game. I think we're also going to see a little bit more out of the defense with potentially some players coming back onto the field and playing, Joey Porter Jr. being one of them and Elliott being another one. And I also think with Darren Harmon playing more of an advanced role. Yeah, I'm like 27-28 to 13 or 14. I'll do that. 28-14.
I'm right. I'm
Okay.
right. All predicting wins. That's not bad.
Right. We all picked a win. Right. We all get to put the little Steelers helmet next to our name. Right. You know,
And
when they
and
when the
and we
talking
just
heads.
guaranteed and we just guaranteed they're gonna lose. So perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's all
Hey,
our fault, by the way. It's all our fault.
hey, listen, at least they're the biggest thing I'm excited about is that they're gonna finish 3 hours early this Sunday. So I'll be done with the show nice and early. That I wish they played at 9 in the morning every
Every
Sunday.
Sunday. So you mean we might actually get it Sunday instead of having to wait a whole 24 hours?
Oh,
Ooh.
that would be crazy, but I'm not gonna make a guarantee there.
All right, okay.
Maybe,
I'm not
maybe.
going to hold you to it. I'm not going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
But man, wouldn't that be nice if we could have 8 o'clock football right after we had 5 star matchup? That would just complete the Sunday right there. You know what I mean? Okay. So, Mr. 5 star, please tell us where we can find all of your great stuff like we don't already know. Patreon.com/5SMU. Tell
Yeah,
us
I
where
mean
we can
that's the
find all
big
your
one.
stuff.
That's the big one. Go support the show over there if you already know me from my channel, patreon.com/5SMU. Go drop $4 in the bucket there. But really just make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube channel. That's the big thing there. You can find me obviously at 5 Star Matchup. Um, you know, that's it. Go check out the
Awesome.
show. You'll dig it.
If
We
you're
guarantee it.
we are, you'll dig it. Gage, buddy, tell us where we can find all your great stuff, where we can get you, and where we can get all your great stuff.
Here, just give me like 3 seconds
Yep.
and I'll do
Okay.
it. And you can find my Yu-Gi-Oh content at Gage Ryan Video. You can find my MMA content at Contender MMA. And you can find myself, Ron, Steve, Frayne, and the rest of the bunch for all of our Steeler content at 5 Star Matchup.
For sure, for sure. Thank you all very much for hopping on and tuning in and checking us out. By the way, you can go to all of your podcasting platforms, type in The Huddle, a Black and Gold podcast, and you will be able to hear us out there. That's right. Find us out there and give us a 5 star rating. That really helps us, by the way. 5 star rating. Did you get that? Okay. Thanks everybody for hopping on and tuning in to the Huddle, a Black and Gold podcast, where we talked about Week 4, the Steelers versus the Vikings in the Emerald Island. I'm your co-host Ron Mott. You can catch all the great stuff at rnjmediasports.com. You can follow me on X at rnj_media. Thank you all very much. We'll catch you all on the next one.